to Pop This, the podcast where three women talk about pop culture. Here are your hosts, Lisa Christiansen, Andrea Gin, and Andrea Warner.
So we're deep into our Halloween extravaganza, which of course begs the question,
yes.
Are you dressing up for Halloween? Do you have an idea for a costume? Are you one of those adults that gets totally into Halloween? That's one of those tropes I think we've noted on sitcoms, is that the moms always are super into Halloween.
Unless the dads are super into creating haunted houses. That seems to be the weird dividing line. There's always so moms can be into Halloween if the dads aren't. Dads can be into Halloween as long as it's specific to scaring the living bejesus out of neighborhood children.
Yes, that 100% that. And their costumes are always so elaborate that you can't even, none of them look bad at all.
I gotta say, I think the last time we did Halloween was pre-COVID. And Carlos and I went as gold medal Russian figure skating champion.
That was so great.
I thought we did a decent job. It was pretty good. But I think our best couples costume ever is the year we dressed up as Sweeney Todd and Mrs. Lovett. And he just had a pie in one hand, and we posed together with him holding a switchblade to my throat. It was great.
Jeez.
Great times.
I have a question about the figure skating outfits because I never actually saw them.
Oh, you never saw them
in person? I saw a picture of them.
Okay.
But what made you Russian figure skaters?
I think it was just that I thought that Russians had won gold that year, so I felt like I just needed to.
I thought you were wearing one of those big black hats.
I did not. No, there was nothing super specifically quote unquote Russian about us. I mean, yeah, it was. For whatever reason though, I thought Russians had won gold that year, and so that we had to be Russian.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the most amazing couple's costume I saw last year was Jake, who was a coworker of ours, and his girlfriend Robin, now fiance. They went as the bear and the woman from Midsummer.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I have never quite seen and it was the most niche costume too, because not everyone has seen Midsummer.
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, it was really good. And she looked just like the girl. She wore the floral...
The crown.
And she had the same dress on. They did it impeccably. I don't even know where you would get a bear costume, but it was perfect.
Yeah, I don't know about the bear costume. That's wild.
I don't dress up for Halloween, but I've taken to dressing up my dog.
Oh.
Yeah, one year we got him a costume where it was like a jockey in a saddle, and you put it on his back. So he looked like a racehorse.
Amazing.
And then one year it was a singer-songwriter because it had a ukulele attached to it, and it was just kind of like one of those outfits you put on dogs where if you look from the front it looks like a human because he's got
yeah, I love those.
I love that outfit. I loved that outfit.
And then last year he was an Ewok.
Nice.
And this year we're not sure. I'm thinking either Sherlock Holmes or cowboy.
That sounds great.
Oh, either one.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So my grandma's birthday is on Halloween, and
it's so fun.
Yeah, and my best friend Julia, her birthday is the day before, so we typically celebrate their birthdays together, and we also typically take, or in the past we've taken Alex trick or treating, but they're 13 this year, and they're gonna be 14 at the end of November, so I don't know if we've entered the window where they don't want to trick or treat or don't want us with them. So
that's a sad
that kind
of transition.
Yeah. Because otherwise we normally, at the very least, we put on our tiny witch hats and a little makeup and usually go out. But I don't know what this year's plan is. We're not having any parties indoors or anything. So
no, I guess you're kind of off parties for a while, hey?
I mean, I'm pretty good. I feel like I could have a party, but yeah, just keeping.
Oh yeah, do you want to give a week 3 COVID
Week
update?
3,
to
I'm
everybody?
feeling much better. I'm almost back to normal. Still like require naps in the day, but that's fine. I love living my #nap life. So no problem there. I'm like still taking it pretty easy and pretty chill, but I feel almost back to good, you know?
Have you ventured outside yet?
I have ventured outside a couple of times. It's been nice. I just like to just reacclimate to the world and see people.
Was it weird because you were shut in for so long?
Well, you know, I feel like there was pandemic shut-in that I have gotten used to over the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
But then to go from the small amount of space of our apartment to the confines of our bedroom, and that's where really the only place I was almost for like 2 full weeks. I went to the patio 3 times. But even then, it was a bit of a rigmarole to, you know, just making sure everyone's masked and making sure I can get outside and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's fine. But I don't think I was doing well with being in full isolation, confined solely to my bedroom. And I also didn't want to talk to anyone.
I mean, who would?
Were you starting to put notches on the wall? Like just
I mean, I got to tell you, the first day that I felt even halfway decent was like day 10 or 11 or whatever. And I made Carlos and I go through to like our closets and just like get rid of a ton of stuff because I had spent so long just looking at like what a disaster our room was and I couldn't do anything about it. And I was so motivated. He got rid of 4 bags of clothing to donations. I got rid of like 1 full bag and we put away a bunch of stuff and it was thrilling.
well, so you got something out of this.
Yeah.
The first place I really went was the Zero Waste Station, which is one of my favorite places, as we know historically on this podcast and in my life. I love the Zero Waste Station, and
It loves you back.
I mean, it's a nice
it
place.
really
Yeah.
does.
It's a
It's
nice
so
place.
nice. It's so well organized.
Yes.
Oh, there's some.
Is that what appeals to you, the organization?
I love the organization of it all. I love that. Like, see, dumps freak me out a little bit. I like going to a dump; it's fine. But like, it's just like the landfill of it all is like just dirt everywhere and stuff.
Have you been to that
everywhere.
big pit, the Vancouver
Oh
dump?
yeah,
That
I've been
big-
to.
Wow,
I've
that
been
pit.
to like the pit dump, but I've also been to the landfill out in Delta.
Oh,
I ended
okay.
up judging a found art competition. This is my life. Anyway, and we had to go to the giant landfill out in Delta, and I dragged.
That's where they displayed the art?
They had to find the art. They had to find objects and make art out of the garbage in the landfill. We had to go through like a site, like safety guideline to be able to go onto the landfill. And then I had to stand there for an hour. And my friend Michael came with me. Bless Michael. I had randomly agreed to go do this thing. And people were like, do you even know who you're meeting out there? And I was like, no. They needed someone who was like an art critic. And I said yes because like my boss at the Strait asked me. And they were like, you're driving to meet people you've never met before at a landfill on your own time
Yeah,
Doesn't
and
sound like the
dime.
beginning of a horror movie at all.
Exactly.
You clearly haven't watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
I am for all the true crime I've ever watched, I am still clearly an idiot. And so anyway, Michael came with me to make sure that I wouldn't get murdered. And I got bit by something at the landfill, but I ended up fine.
What?
so.
Like a bug or
an insect?
Some kind of bug or insect or something weird. It was not great.
Oh, okay.
It was
As
Oh my
long as it
God.
was like insect and not like mammal
no, it wasn't a mammal for sure. It was definitely insect because like I like
or ghost.
like, yeah. Like I barely noticed it while it was happening. I wish it was a ghost. I barely noticed it while it was happening, but like I got home later and Carlos was like, "What's on your arm? That looks weird." And I was like, "Oh no, I got bit at the landfill." Yeah, so But you know what? Like maybe I'm radioactive at some point and it'll come in handy when I need to be a superhero.
I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is your origin story is getting bitten at the dump.
Honestly, that's not going to be a surprise to anyone who knows me well. Like,
I wonder if your superpower will be like garbage related somehow.
I mean, hopefully it's like being able to sort of like, you know, turn the earth to my advantage or something, or like, I don't know, something sort of like more illustrious than just being like queen of the garbage, but whatever.
You can make garbage do whatever you want it to do.
Yeah, that could be like honestly, that's actually a pretty good superpower given the high levels of pollution. If I could, I mean, that is a spin on, I never thought I could make environmental damage and destruction, put a positive spin on it.
Like, yeah, you just summon garbage.
I summon garbage to like attack the worst people, and I like use my powers for keeping bad guys at bay with like these mounds and mounds of garbage.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I can see that.
I think we just created like
I think we just invented a
superhero, and so now this is copyrighted. No one can take it. This is
Garbage Girl.
I prefer Garbage Queen, but fine. I mean, I actually don't believe in royalty.
Girl.
So, yeah, Garbage Girl is a little.
I mean, the alliteration's there, but it's not quite as fun.
It's not quite what
Queen.
No. It's no Dumpster Diva. No, that doesn't.
Not even that. No.
Lady of the Landfill. That's nice.
How about Regina? Refuse Regina.
Well, we've got some work cut out for us, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Landfill Lisa works, but I was never bitten by any insect at the landfill. And
I like Lady of the Landfill.
Lady of the Landfill.
I do.
It might be my favorite.
You'd wear like a very elegant dress.
Couldn't you come out of the water with a big sword?
I would wear a cape made of garbage that would like flow behind me. And the cape would be like obviously have like, you know, sort of like a PVC under like just like a platform, and then the garbage would be attached to it. It would be like, and I would be able to like make it my weapon because I would be able to whip my cape around people. And
you'd be like a garbage cyclone.
Yes, garbage cyclone, and then the garbage a garbage like twister kind of, and then the people would get like contained by the garbage twister. I really like this. I think this is super fun.
You know what? I can't wait to get to write some of the erotic fan fiction to go with this.
Yeah, because in the spirit of Twilight, this is absolutely our lovely story about Lady of the Landfill is absolutely going to spawn some wild erotic fiction.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry, but like Shades of Grey, you got nothing on the Lady of the Landfill erotica that's coming your way. Like. You know what? This franchise is giving us so much, and I'm so happy.
It really is. It's given us something.
All right. I'm Andrea Warner.
I'm Lisa Christiansen.
I'm Andrea Gin.
And you're listening to Pop This, and we are Twilight mad. I think that's what you're listening to right now, is we are deep in the middle part of the Twilight Saga. We are doing Eclipse.
Yes, we are. Yes. Full disclosure, though, on this quickly. I just want to say that there was a portion that I fell asleep in, and I did not bother rewinding.
You know what? You probably didn't miss anything because they have the same conversation 300 times.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't worry about it. He proposes to her 16 times. She says yes every time, and he still has to ask her more. Or it could have been a long stretch where you just think about how terrible her wig looks in this movie. Because I spent a lot of time doing that. Well, I mean, but this one she has found a different quirk than playing with her hair. So maybe the wig was staying in place better this time for her. Like maybe that's what happened. I don't know. It's a lot.
The hairline, though, like
the hairline is as believable as the CGI wolves. Although I will say the wolves do look pretty good for that kind of CGI.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. All right, we're getting into it. Hey, we're getting
into it. Let's do some background, and I'm gonna make myself read the synopsis because I'm literally quoting myself from my 2010 review.
Yeah, well, as has become the tradition in this series, we want to hear your original review and your original thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not reading the whole review. God, that would be like not fair. But anyway, Lisa, do you want to read the background?
Yes, I do. The Twilight Saga, Eclipse, commonly referred to as Eclipse, is a 2010 American romantic fantasy film based on Stephanie Meyer's 2007 novel of the same name and the 2010 companion novella, The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. It is the third installment of the Twilight Saga film series following 2008's Twilight and 2009's New Moon. Directed by David Slade, the film stars Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, and Taylor Lautner. The film was released worldwide on June 30th, 2010 in theaters and became the first and only Twilight film to be released in IMAX. That's a waste. Sorry, that was me.
No,
editorializing.
I like it. That was also in the Wikipedia, but I'm glad you added it back in after I took it out. That's great.
The film has received mixed reception from critics. It held the record for biggest midnight opening in the United States and Canada in box office history, grossing an estimated $30 million, until it was surpassed by Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 in 2011. The film then scored the biggest Wednesday opening in the United States and Canada history with $68,533,840, beating Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen's $62 million. We are really talking Oscar quality films here today.
Absolutely.
Okay, hold on. Just a question. Yeah. It's based on the 2010 companion novella, This Short Second Life of Bree Tanner.
Yeah. That's the kid. That's the kid in the film with the little kid vampire.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. They didn't really give much of her life in this one. But she is from the little novella. So
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, quoting myself here, it's just a excerpt from
as
that
you
review.
are wont to do.
As I'm wont to do. Love quoting myself from 12 years ago. The franchise's third installment, Eclipse, finds Bella a month shy of graduating, but with even bigger changes on the horizon. Edward's promised to turn her into a vampire if she'll marry him, even though he'd rather keep her soul intact. Later in the film, soul becomes a euphemism for hymen. Enjoy. Bella's safety becomes the catalyst for an uneasy alliance between the werewolves and the vampires, who band together against Victoria, a newly recast Bryce Dallas Howard, who, after 2 movies, is still hellbent on killing Bella to avenge the death of her lover in the first Twilight movie.
You'd be a great synopsis writer for movies.
Thank you so much. Honestly, that could be very useful in the future. We don't know where writing's going. So
I also think you should just end every sentence when you discuss Twilight with enjoy. It works everywhere.
It does.
Everywhere.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I, in my review, liked this better than the second one.
Really?
Yes. Because I still like it better than the last one, outside of Martin Sheen. I missed Martin Sheen's eyeballs, but
Michael
I did.
Sheen?
Michael Sheen. Jesus, Martin Sheen. Yeah, you know what? the West Wing Twilight crossover.
How did I miss Martin Sheen?
Michael Sheen. I love that. And please do not edit that out, AG, please. I want everyone to know that
have that image in their minds.
Want Martin Sheen doing Michael Sheen's eye work. Which, I mean, arguably some of his more louder scenes in Frankie and Grace are actually closer to Michael Sheen's work in Twilight than they are to the West Wing. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on there, but I did prefer this one to the last one.
It was a tighter focus. I will give it that.
Well, yeah. I will point out it does have a slightly higher rating on IMDb than the last one, 5.0 versus 4.7.
Well then.
The first movie is at 5.3.
Wow. See, I still don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the first movie is kind of fun in that it's like introducing us to this world, and the scenery is really beautiful. And I actually think Catherine Hardwicke does like. Remember, she did such a beautiful job like filming everything. Like, I mean, with the cinematographer, I know, but I feel like the other movies haven't given as much space to the landscape. I don't know.
Yeah, the films themselves aren't as pretty. All they seem to care about is these three annoying entities and their anguish all the
super
time.
Super tight shots of them making out.
Yeah.
And their shirtless bodies.
I mean, you know, it's given that we aren't the target audience, like I am willing to absolutely say like maybe that is what the kids want. I don't know. If I was a huge fan of this franchise, maybe this would deliver. But like I just feel like the Harry Potter comparisons are kind of interesting, or even just like the money thing in the beginning, because like, and I mean obviously like I don't ever wish to say she who shall not be named's name ever again because she's so horrible, but I just feel like the Harry Potter films, I guess they do have better source text to work with, and they have more going on and much richer.
They both have Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's true, yeah. And I mean, arguable to say though, like where he is a better performer, because like I don't recall him really setting any screens on fire in Harry Potter though, so I don't know. What did you guys think of Eclipse? Do you like it?
No. No, I think I get more and more troubled by the depiction of this woman in this completely utter damsel in distress needing to be protected all of the time. In fact, her protection brings together the vampires and the werewolves. It seems stupid. I mean, give her up. Like, honestly, if you could just whip out
her.
Bree Tanner.
Yeah, it would be like
Bree Tanner's gone. Why not just...
I can see an easy solution to everybody's problem.
Yeah, exactly. She's not that awesome. I have not 1 second of these three movies gone, you know, I can really see why everyone feels this way about Bella. There's just something about her. There's nothing about her. She's just a sulky teen. And I find her quite dull, and I don't find her to be very... She's no Rory Gilmore, I'll tell you that.
But yeah, like in this movie, it's just so hard to... And I mean, this is like obviously a long time after it came out, so we're not like in the heat of the moment, but maybe it was different. But like, it's just so hard to see why she would want to be turned into a vampire.
Because she never felt like a part of something? Yeah, well, how about... Because your family moved you from Florida to Oregon. That's going to displace you a little bit. Like, give it a couple of weeks, you know.
Or,
something.
yeah, like, and it's just like now, like watching it now, it's just like, I can't see anything attractive about Edward. And I don't understand why she would want to be a vampire. And so those, I don't know, like those two things. And I know like this movie is supposed to be intentionally more humorous than the other movies.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But like, I was trying to figure out what that meant. Like when they do a shot of like them hiding in the woods, and it's just like Edward standing in front of a tent. Was that part of like the intentional humor of the movie?
I guess because they're so snow-capped and he's so diamondy. I don't know. I mean, I think most of the humor is supposed to come from Jake being shirtless and hot-blooded, and Edward being cold-blooded, and that's like that honestly I think is supposed to be 90% of the humor. Like, aren't they so different and yet so similar?
You know, here's the thing, Bella. In the middle, there's a human boy. He's not too hot. He's not too cold. He's just right. Give yourself, you know, get on a dating app. See what's out there.
You know, I gotta say, I was thinking about this because I rewatched True Blood at the beginning of the pandemic because I had never finished it. And so I decided to just like rewatch it. I think it was the beginning of the pandemic. Anyway, and I finally saw like the last episode. And so this is a spoiler for a show that's 10 to 15 years old for anyone who hasn't seen it. But at the end, Suki doesn't end up with either of the vampires or a werewolf. Suki ends up just married to a normal guy, and they have a kid. And that's it. And you know what? That's a fine life.
That's a fine life. Yeah, gotta say.
Well, I mean, you think like Bella would at least want to get out and see the world for a few years before making this final decision. But the thing is,
I think one of the mistakes in our conversation is that we presume that we assume, rightly so, I think, that girls are people. And I don't think Stephenie Meyer has any interest in girls as people. I think she's interested in sort of Bella as this kind of like flat nothing that any person could project themselves into and just be an object of desire and lust for these two boys. And the alleged commentary about like the beastliness of men and like men just wanting to possess women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if it's like even as complicated as that. I really just think that like the writer does not think that women are that interesting. She's probably the kind of person who's like, I've never really had a lot of girlfriends.
We didn't have the term incel back when these movies came out.
No, we did not.
We knew what it was, but we just didn't have a word for it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, Jacob and Edward there are bordering on the incel territory.
It's not great. I mean,
can't live without you. No man can ever make you as happy as me. Pick me, pick me. It's quite terrifying. It's really quite terrifying, I have to say.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, and just like really heavy-handed, like we need to get married. I want to be married. Like that's just
the only things that we know about
what?
Bella. The only things that we know about Bella is she wants to go to Bone Town. And honestly, go get it, girl. You deserve it. You have got a bunch of people trying to kill you all the time. Have sex. Get yourself some sex if that's what you want. But the only thing we know about her is that she wants to have sex and she wants to be a vampire so she can be with Edward forever. Those are the only... We don't even know, does she like to read? Does she like to listen to music? Yeah, we don't know.
We've never seen a hobby.
We've never seen anything at all. Like, she apparently maybe will possibly go to college to study science to Alaska because they have a good science but that's about Edward. Like, we don't know anything about Bella ever. And maybe the books tell us more. I'm willing to believe that, but I still think the movie has a responsibility to allow Bella to be like an actual person.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not much. All we ever see is just the two of them constantly just, their faces. Sorry. But they're just constantly talking about how much they need to be together. We need to be together. We need to be together. We got it. We've got it. We like, it's, again, 2 hours. 2 hours of having to watch that same scene over and over and over again. Let's do it in the snow. Let's do it in a meadow. Let's do it in a car. Let's do it, and not even sex.
No,
just talking.
Just let's have conversations about our future.
Yeah,
in every locale humanly possible.
And talk about insecure. That creepy line at the end of the movie too, where Bella says, "Well, let's do it. Let's make me a vampire a week shy of my 18th birthday. I don't want to be that much older than you."
I know.
Yeah.
I just cringed.
Like, I don't want to make light of, I never really want to make light of like mental health stuff, but like, this is not manic pixie dream girl territory. This is manic depressive dream girl territory. And I hate it. It's so frustrating. And yet at the same time, like, you guys are right. Jacob and Edward are terrible. Like, they're way worse than Bella. But somehow I can only fixate on the like absence of Bella as a person. Like, I don't know. It really, but I'm so thrilled for her that she knows she wants to have sex and she knows she wants to be a vampire. fine. If you are so convinced that those are the things you want, I am not going to like try and talk you out of them. She is allowed to like want the things that she wants. I am very frustrated by the number of people who are getting in her way, telling her she's not allowed to want those things until they say it's fine for her to want those things.
Well,
Like,
and she's been given an alternative too, which is that here are your choices. You either pick Edward and become a vampire, or pick Jacob and maybe a werewolf will cut half your face off.
Well, also, can you like...
Because that's how it was worded to her.
That was how it was worded to her. Also, that like she's resisting Jacob trying to imprint on her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lisa. I wanted to get your update on imprinting.
So do you
understand
imprinting now?
Well, I do, and I wish I didn't.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I wish
it gets worse.
Yeah, it gets way worse.
Is that like the idea when I think of the word imprinting, I think of like a little bird or like, and that idea that the first thing it sees is its mother?
Yes, this is exactly what. Yes, the
So
first thing
creepy,
it sees
creepy,
is the creepy. You are promised to each other forever if the werewolf decides to imprint on you.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems like a humorous Saturday Night Live sketch where you careful what you wish for. You know, that when you're a teenager, you're just like, all I want is some guy to be besotted with me. And then you see the reality of it. And it's like a constant. I was actually just going to go to the toilet. Is that okay? I'll come with you. I mean, really, is that the existence that you want? Because this is what this movie is really like.
Yeah. And I mean, we should also note at this point that the Quileute tribe, like that Stephenie Meyer, borrowed a lot of their stories and
appropriated, kind of I would say probably
appropriated a lot, appropriated their culture, but like they were never consulted.
Oh my
they were
God.
never part of this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They didn't, benefit at all from this movie series.
So they just get to be stereotyped and defined by Stephenie Meyer. Oh, yeah. Well, that's who you want to be writing your culture into film.
Yeah, exactly.
God. Did some of the backstories, did any of the backstories resonate with you guys?
Well, I mean, I was going to actually, I don't know if this is a backstory necessarily, but I was going to ask about this humor piece again when they say that it's like the battle's going to start and the vampires will be here in 4 days from Seattle. And it's like, it's going to take them 4 days to hop from Seattle to get to
Oregon.
Not even.
They're Washington,
Forks, Washington. It's on the Olympic Peninsula.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought they were in Oregon. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they got to eat on the way, or I don't know.
I didn't get the backstory on the 4 days, why it would take 4 days, but I'm guessing they got to stop and ask for directions. And
it's going to take that group of 12 people 4 days to sort of, maybe they're piggybacking each other. I don't know.
Could they be not grosser too, than calling them newborns? Like, it was so unsettling. Like, we must slay these newborns. And so Bella's listening to this and she's all super keen. Like, I can't wait to become a newborn and have everyone be mean to me and maybe kill me. Like, what's the deal? Like, once you're a vampire for the first 7 months, you're like insatiable? Or what are you supposed to do?
Well, I also have some questions about why she feels she's never allowed to see any of the other people again. Like, I guess because they think that vampires are still secret from Charlie and her mom and stuff. So, like, she wouldn't be able to see them but she'd be able to see them for a few years. I guess, like, after she's done wanting to kill them, but, like...
Okay, so I'm perfectly happy to have the movie spoiled, and I think so are the listeners here.
Uh-huh.
So does Dad, when it ends with we're gonna go tell Dad now that we're getting married, are they also telling him that she's gonna become a vampire?
No,
they're just gonna leave that part out.
Apparently, yeah. As far I don't remember for sure, but I don't remember if anyone finds out in Bella's like human life that Edward and them are vampires. I can't remember. AG, do you remember?
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to be surprised.
We're all going to find out. In the next...
How exciting.
Yeah,
but it is
honestly,
is the next movie the one she becomes a vampire then? Are we going to have to wait till...
I don't think she becomes a vampire. And wait, does she? No. Does she?
In the
I think
fourth?
maybe it's in the fourth, like the last movie.
I know the next one is when they do go to Bone Town. Because that is a very memorable sequence of events that is terrible and hilarious and so just like ridiculous. Like,
it's amazing that Kristen Stewart emerged from the series to become like the super cool celebrity that she is today.
Honestly, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think she is routinely credited as like the only one who's kind of any good in these films.
Well,
so,
I mean,
you know,
yeah,
damning with faint praise. I get it, but still.
Do you have any idea why Bryce Dallas Howard was?
I do. I have the backstory on this. If you would like to know.
Tell us.
So, Rochelle Lefebvre, is that her name? Anyway, she's a Canadian actor, actually, and she signed on to do the indie film Barney's version while Twilight was between shootings. And when she got the call that she had to get ready and come to set, apparently she told them, look, I have to do 11 days of shooting in Europe. Can I just come later? And they were like, nah. And they recast her.
Oh.
And apparently Bryce Dallas Howard had been their first choice, but she turned down the part originally in the first film because she thought it was too small a part.
Yeah, well, she was correct.
She was, yeah. But so they just fired Rochelle and hired Bryce. I did not think that Bryce did that great a job in this. Like, I'm not historically the biggest fan of hers. I actually like Rochelle better as Victoria, even though she doesn't get a lot to do. I just thought she sort of moved in a more compelling and convincing vampire way. I don't know why that's a thing, but...
Such as it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, some people act better as vampires. I thought, what's his name? Is it Jasper?
Yeah.
Jasper's the one with the backstory in the Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of find him compelling.
I thought he was okay in this one, for sure.
Yeah.
And I thought Nikki Reed did a, fine job with a very dark backstory that is, like, Bella doesn't even say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I mean, that is not a casual, sort of disclosure, Bella. React appropriately. But yeah, like, I mean, Nikki Reed just doesn't get that much to do in these. No. The guy, the meathead dude, her boyfriend in the show, and adopted brother, Kellen Lutz. I can't remember if that's exactly his name, but it's something like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Wow, you pulled that.
I pulled that out of nowhere because I interviewed him and Anna Kendrick for Twilight when the first film came out. And they were like on the phone together, I think, and he was so feeling himself, like he was just like he had never been hotter in his life, and finally was getting the star wattage he deserved. And Anna Kendrick was just like really fun and normal and great. And
she continues to be the highlight of these movies.
She really does.
Anna Kendrick.
She really does.
Yeah.
I appreciated her graduation speech.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah, it kind of feels like she's in a different
movie.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way
when she comes on the screen, it feels like a different movie.
I mean, she has a presence. Is
she going to get to be maid of honor at this wedding or what?
I can't remember. All I remember about the wedding is that it's very boring and I think the dress is terrible.
I knew there wouldn't be a good say yes to the dress moment for Bella. I knew that.
It's so bad. I think, if I'm recalling correctly. But I really, really remember the way that they just tear apart that honeymoon suite, and it's so funny to me. I can't wait till you get there, Lisa. I hope
well.
honestly, I hope I haven't set it up too high, but like I just wow.
And then they're gonna have a vampire baby, right? And that's coming too, right? Vampire baby.
Oh, because it's a vampire human hybrid baby, like the first of its kind. Sorry, spoiler alert. And I think so Bella doesn't change in the next film. I think she changes in the film after.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And she has a baby.
Yeah.
And
Just,
and it's a
yeah.
weird kind of CGI baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to brace yourself.
You gotta
for
brace
that.
yourself. Or does she change at the end of the next film? I can't remember. The next film is either a lot of stuff going on or only a little bit of stuff going on. One of them has stuff and the other is like so dull.
So the next one is the Breaking Dawn,
Yeah.
and it's split into two.
Yeah. And those are
Right.
the last two films.
Yeah. Oh, jeepers. Okay.
I know. There's still so much to go, right? Like, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm used to
Yeah.
it now. I'm ready.
I think Michael Sheen comes back for next one, if I recall correctly.
Not Martin?
Not Martin. my good buddy Martin Sheen. They
Makes a
decide
cameo.
it's weird. They decide to do a walk and talk through the Volturi's home, a la Aaron Sorkin and West Wing. This is a bit of
The Volturi, like
tribute.
everything in this movie is just so unimpressive. Like the Volturi, who are supposed to be
I know.
the people in charge, just like show up themselves, like the five of them or whatever, just walking on foot into the forest.
Also, why did they all decide that, you know what, it makes perfect sense. We're not going to have a battle where people are able to hide. We're going to choose a clearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they West Side Storied it. Like, come on.
Was it the
no.
same clearing?
And
Was
they
it the
only
same
get-
clearing they had the baseball game in?
Yes. Yes. That's the only
And this
clearing.
is only going to involve, it's only going to involve like 20 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
like,
God.
I just, God, I don't know, man. Like, does no one think about like, no, you know what? It doesn't have to make sense to us.
But
No,
was
it's
it
about
another,
vampires. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Was it another intentionally humorous part when the Volturi like all kind of step up and they all put their hoods down coordinated at the same time?
I mean, I thought it was very much a moment from The Craft, so I did laugh. I was like, they think this is so cool.
They
They
think
have
they're so
choreographed-
dramatic.
They made them do this over and over and over again to the point where Dakota Fanning said, "Please, my hands are chafed from touching my hood."
And it didn't, I mean, I'm sorry, this battle scene just looked like a bloodbath. And I mean, I don't know if that's a pun there, but it did not look like it was particularly challenging to get these newborns out of the way. I mean, it did not at all.
I did not. Yeah, and they're not lighting anything on fire. Like, they should be setting an inferno to this space based on what we've heard. You have to tear off their heads and then set their
Well, there was a fire
corpses.
at the end when the Volturi,
I don't know why the wolf pack was involved at all.
it was unnecessary. And they didn't need to go camping up in that tent for that.
No, they didn't need to go camping.
guys. Come on, wasn't it worth it to have that long
Where did that tent
long
even come from?
dialogue between Jacob and Edward?
It's like, where did Edward pull that tent out of anyway? Like he just
He's been alive 100 years.
just
He's
there.
got a spare tent in his back pocket. I just thought like they decided that like the menfolk needed to talk. They're protecting Bella, as is their only role in life. Like, what reason for getting up in the morning did they have before they met Bella?
What isn't there a moment where you would just talk to Edward and say, "Buddy, this isn't gonna work. Like you're jeopardizing everything. Like you've been around for 100 years. We've met. Remember when you got this way about Shelley? Remember that? Remember everything was Shelley this, Shelley that, Shelley this, Shelley that. And you got over that. So why can't we just do that with Bella?"
Yeah. Well, I guess, the things that they really leaned into in the first film, they've really sort of shied away from now. Like, it used to be that he could read everyone's thoughts and Bella was the only one he couldn't. So that was what first intrigued him. And then it was her smell. And apparently he can now like be standing next to her and not throw up from her waft. So that's exciting.
I don't know. Maybe we don't know. Like, I'll tell you one thing about Bella. I don't know. We never see her bathe, so who knows?
Yeah, we don't know her hygiene stitch.
Maybe it's just one of those
totally,
simple
like,
answers.
Cast aspersions on the dog's quote unquote dog smell.
I know. It's so I don't know. It feels racist. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like it at all. It does not please me. God. I also, sorry to go back to like sex and sexual politics, but because we spend so much time, like, she has to defend her virginity defend herself to Charlie by like being like, don't worry, I'm a virgin. And then she has to like tell Jacob like, well, he's gonna change me and we're gonna get married and that's what I want, even though, yes, cool, you have a hot body. I can sort of turn away from that. And then, I mean, he kisses her without her consent. I did appreciate how she punched him.
Yeah.
I was grateful for that small moment, but like...
But then she does the same thing back to him. Kiss me.
I know.
Kiss me. And he's like, I'm not really into it, but okay. Like, do it.
I mean, at the very least, she does invite it as opposed to just
she does
him.
But he didn't seem to be right into it at the beginning, and she just keeps saying it. And I'm like, boy, both of you have real issues, like
they truly do. They truly do. But like, I just keep going back to like, what are we supposed to do with the Jacob Edward discussion in the tent? Like, is this supposed to be the most chaste threesome that Stephenie Meyers can invoke as a Mormon? Like, she's just like, I know that I can't do that, so I'm going to create this great scene where Jacob gets to spoon Bella and Edward just has to watch from a small distance. And this is going to be the ultimate fantasy of my life.
she got it.
I want everyone to know, you know what? You can have more. You can have more. Bella can have more. Stephenie could have more. Everyone can have more.
And to be so obsessed with Edward, to be so obsessed with wedding is very funny. It's his constant, I just want to get married. It's like, oh, buddy. Maybe he needs to say yes to the dress. Like he seems to be way more into this whole wedding idea. Like, is it, did I miss some scene where it's because he's old fashioned because he was born in 1840 or something? Is that the whole?
I mean, he does sort of say that. He's like, where I come from, blah, blah, blah. And Bella's like, well,
oh yeah, she says modern day
or whatever. And like,
oh, because he says you can still work or something. She doesn't have a job, but okay.
I don't know. I mean, she's got nothing.
No, she's
got nothing.
Can I just say too, like, at this point in the series, the Cullens look so comically old to be in high school.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like even obviously they're like, aging like everyone else through the series, but like
it's Dylan in 90210. Like it's receding hairlines and
furrowed brows, and
Pepto-Bismol because they can't digest acid. Like it's ridiculous. They're so old.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, I know they're vampires and they're not supposed to age, but the human actors in real life are aging and like definitely appear to be.
So I don't even know anything about Vampire's Anatomy, but so Bella has checked to make sure that Edward indeed has a penis. Because
great question. Because I mean, they fall apart like glass, and a penis, in order to be erect, requires blood to rush into the organ. So as to how he is going to satisfy
But they have a child in the later.
Well, that's. I mean, I got a lot of
later
questions
series, so.
about. I got a lot of questions about his semen as well. I mean, we haven't gotten to that
Well, we
part of the
do.
movie yet, but
Yeah.
I can't wait till next episode. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research, and I can't wait to present you both with what I've learned about.
Oh my god!
boy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Jeez.
does this movie pop?
No. I can't recommend this. I can't think of a single person I would recommend this to. Yes, we have, caveat. This is not
Yeah.
for us. We know that.
Yeah.
This was not made for us.
It's
but
better
I
than the
still-
last one, but it doesn't pop. No.
No, it doesn't pop. No popping.
No, I don't think it does. But
I know
you,
the
I
franchise.
feel like the series. Yeah.
I'm.
You have to sort of understand and know it.
I am-
because it's the basis of a lot of.
Yeah, but
things.
that's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean it pops. And so, like, I'm interested to see if you will be able to continue having this caveat. Like, you can say, yeah, you know what? In the same way that 50 Shades of Grey and Transformers have their moments in our pop culture, so does Twilight. They can all stay in a box that is not for me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
to be fair, like the reason the Harry Potter series works is because we all wish we were magic. And we all wish that somehow we were magical, beings. But we have the power ourselves. But trying to find that in Twilight, where the most important thing Bella can do is either be consumed by a werewolf or consumed by a vampire. I'm not aspiring to that, but
Yeah.
I would like to be Hermione and be a wizard for sure.
Yeah, I feel like for sure.
Married to Ronald Weasley.
Oh,
Okay,
Ronald
that's
Weasley is
later.
the Jacob and Edward of all. Ronald Weasley is also, like, honestly, frankly, I know people are like, he has his hero moments and stuff like that. Like, whatever, fine. But, like, he kind of, frankly, reminds me a little bit of, like, the Xander of the whole bunch, like
Xander.
from Buffy.
Now
the
we're going to
Vampire
Buffy.
Slayer.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
flying
Sorry,
around
I jumped
here
over
now.
to a different vampire franchise,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
he just, yeah. Ronald Weasley has, like, a bit of a Xander energy for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
I propose that you stop watching Harry Potter before they get to the present day ending of the movie.
I think I've seen that.
It's
But yeah,
just-
but I
No. I mean, just in general, when you rewatch Harry Potter, I am no longer gonna watch like this scene at the end where they show them as adults. It's too upsetting.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
So no one thinks this pops, but we are in it to win it for the next 2 episodes. We have 2 more. Honestly, can't wait to talk
Unbelievable.
about them.
Unbelievable.
Can't wait to talk about them with you both. We love to leave our episodes on something we recommend. So, Lisa, would you like to go first?
Sure. I have really been enjoying the new Star Wars series Andor.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. I have been very disappointed in many of the Star Wars shows that have come out in, I guess, the last, let's be honest, 10 years? There's been some real hits and misses, and Andor is a real hit. It is the prequel to Rogue One, and Rogue One is basically the prequel to Episode 4, A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this series is what leads to Rogue One. Did either of you see Rogue One?
I did, yeah.
No.
Yeah, isn't that good? That was such
Yeah.
a good one. That
Yeah,
was
it
a
was
great
good.
one. So that's what Andor is. It's Cassian. We're learning about who that character is and how he comes to be part of this rebel force. And anyway, highly recommended Andor.
Cool. I have heard nothing but good things about Andor, so that makes a lot of sense, and I'm excited to check it out. AG, what about you?
I'm going to recommend a new K-drama that dropped on Netflix called Little Women.
Nice.
And it is, in fact, loosely based on the Louisa May Alcott book, but it is set in modern-day Korea. And it's about 3 sisters who don't have a lot of money who have to face off against this wealthy family. And there's like a mystery involved.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, very good. Enjoying it a lot.
That sounds great. I'm going to, again, be incredibly self-serving. I'm so sorry. And recommend.
You're going to recommend all your Twilight reviews.
No.
They're now in book form.
I'm not recommending any of that. But I will recommend the documentary that I helped make. Buffy Sainte-Marie, Carry It On, will be on Crave on Friday, October 21st in Canada.
Yay, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited for everyone to have a chance to see it. And I got to co-write it, and I'm an associate producer on it. And even if I wasn't those things, I would still recommend it because I just think that the more people who know more about Buffy, the better the world will be.
Wow, that is a recommendation and a half.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I'm very excited and look forward to it.
Yay! So, everyone, you can hang out with us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You could rate and review us 5 stars on iTunes.
Yes, and we enjoy the 5-star reviews. I guess that's different than the Michelin stars, which only go up to 3. Is that correct?
God, does Michelin go to 3 or 4? I can't remember. 3, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So anyway,
we'd like to think we're Michelin starred as well.
Yes, we do. And thanks to Andrea Gin, our producer and co-host here at Pop This. We really enjoy this, even if it is agonizing to get through the Twilight Saga. I gotta say, it's my own saga. I'm going to write about my saga.
Should we not all be dressing as characters from Twilight for Halloween?
Oh, all right.
I mean, maybe. Let's.
I'll just wear a frumpy
Think about
t-shirt,
that.
jeans, and a hoodie, and I'll be Bella?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a great costume.
Yeah.
Bella is the zero hero that, we do need, I guess.
And just look slightly pained constantly?
I mean, that's a normal.
That's Kristen Stewart, I guess.
It's
really.
pretty normal for Kristen Stewart. And I mean, I think I kind of look slightly pained for most of my teens. So I gotta say.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say while watching this series.
I can't even believe it, but I how sometimes you're just when is this movie gonna be over? And it's just dragging and dragging and dragging. I haven't found that these have dragged nearly as much as some other stuff we've watched.
That's over 2 hours. Okay.
Again, damning with faint praise, but there we go.
Yeah, well, it's okay. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. There you go. That's honestly, what I'll give it.
For some of the stuff we've watched,
yeah,
I would rather watch all 5 Twilight films again than have to watch any of those Gary Marshall New Year's
Mother's
Eve,
Day,
or Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I
honestly,
agree with you.
I'd watch the whole Twilight franchise 4 times before I'd watch those again.
I might watch Mother's Day again just for the laugh of Julia Roberts' hair.
That wig is incredible.
But that is...
You're right. But yikes. That was a real horror show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the gauge.
Okay, my stomach's hurting now.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're very right.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Bye, friends. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.